So they tell you what you need to hear. You need to be there because you need to be seen. And the superintendent gets the best station, I get the last station. So I get to give out the assignments to the parents, and we're very, very pleased with the actual registration process.
Real quick, Dr. O'Malley, on that,
yes.
just due to previous happenings, can you just clarify that process that was taking less than an hour was once they were past the first table? Once they came in, they had all the documents they needed, it was less than an hour.
That's correct. That's correct. So you know, we were very pleased. Not everybody showed up at the first day, at the first hour. So we tried to basically package each day so that parents were in a more manageable size for our staff, and it was more manageable for the family, and we made as many accommodations as possible. So we're very, very strict, but I'm very pleased to say that there are reasons why, and you can be assured that your tax dollars are being spent on your children. That was the expectation, your children, okay? Second thing I wanted to report on is a special thanks to Frank and Kelly for numbering our rooms. I know they've been in these buildings and we do not have the air conditioning on. You've been putting all these on the buildings. We appreciate that because it gets rather warm, and that volunteerism, that altruism is incredibly important. And as I said in line, a couple people had concerns about our staffing and the amounts of money, and what I shared with them is our board policies ask for volunteerism. So the more volunteerism that we have, thank you for your volunteerism, we appreciate that. And then last thing I want to report on is a community member sent me a Ask Dr. O'Malley, and in that Ask Dr. O'Malley, it talked about consolidation. More specifically, the individual who I called, who's actually here, Mr. Rapadas, who I called, wanted me to bring to the board, a suggestion that would entail the Board of Education directing the superintendent to work with the state to have a study done on whether or not it would be beneficial. Is that correct? Okay.
Correct.
Whether or not it would be beneficial. So what I wanted to do at this point in time is I just wanted to share with the board. I'm bringing it forward because the Ask Dr. O'Malley is a correspondence that comes to me. I believe this is one of the things that has come up on several occasions. In fact, I know there's a meeting scheduled for September 18th at the library, which we have a board meeting on that day. We also have a finance meeting, I believe, before the board meeting. But I wanted to bring it here, and I wanted to put that on the table for the Board of Education, and whether or not they would want the superintendent. My understanding is that the superintendent would need to have an action item for the Board of Education to act on, and then write a letter to the state requesting that they do an investigation. And that's to the best of my knowledge. I didn't get too deep in this, but I think that would be the first step, having the conversation with the board. So I thought I'd bring that here tonight.
The first time this was brought up in a meeting, it was actually brought up, and the entire board was asked their feelings on it, not being a leader to push for it, but as a question to what kind of time and effort for information. I think we all felt that information was valuable, but we wanted to be conscious of Dr. O'Malley's time. So I guess information is still valuable. I think it's something that the community keeps bringing up and we should look into. So my biggest question would be, where does the time sit? How much time pulling away from going into the beginning of the school year? Is there some type of limit that we can put on it? Because I do not want to take the superintendent away from the regular duties that go on. Willing to give some time if it is there. I just don't want it to be extensive to where it's going to affect the duties of the superintendent.
How much time do you think you'll take? I mean, just for example, let's say Gus will give you the name of the person at the state that you need to contact. Sending him an email saying, could you please outline what the district needs to do to be able to qualify for this grant? And then you just take that information, send it off to the board, and we can look at it, and I'm sure that we'll all agree to it, and then we'll put it on the agenda for us to proceed on it. But at least let's initiate the request to the state to see what is needed to do the feasibility study. Okay. And this way, then once we have that, then we can understand how much time it will take for him. But I'm sure that it wouldn't be that probably much, just to see what is needed.
Sure. I'm taking the first steps.
And what I would ask is if Mr. Rapadas, if you could share with me the contact through the Ask Dr. O'Malley, we can talk on the phone, and I would be more happy to send an email call to individual or individuals and get some more background and what it would entail.
And if you are interested in attending that meeting, let me know so we can post. If we do get 3 people that are going to attend, because I plan to attend, and we'll see if we have quorum for our meeting here. But if you are planning to attend, let us know. Let me know so we can at least do the proper notification to the community that there be the majority of a quorum at a potential meeting. So, anything else, Dr. Mellon?
I'm good.
I have a question for Mr. Rapadas. Do you know if has anybody reached out to the other districts in the town that we would?
We have spoken. I don't mean to speak out, but you asked me a question.
Sure.
We would like the boards to reach out to the state to get this information. This information is valuable. This information is also free to the board if they reach out to the state and show that they are interested in getting the information. We don't know what this information is going to say. We're not going to know if it comes out that we need to consolidate, that we need 1 building, 2 buildings, 3 buildings, 0 buildings. But we need you guys to reach out, show interest. They will help us with a percentage of the grant. We have secured the remainder of the money. So that's what we like. We need the boards from both districts or all 3 districts to reach out to the state to say that they would like to have more information.
Which district did you reach out to?
We have since reached out to 79.
I'm sorry. So just
Only 79. I saw a video that showed George Ballas was there and he asked the question, and they did not seem receptive at all to the idea of the consolidation, which, let's go on record here, District 79 was the one that brought Kleisner into the community because Dr. Kopta needed some assistance in addressing that question if it came up during her tour of her building while she was trying to pass a referendum. It was never District 80's initial idea. We're open to it. We'll take a look at it. But I believe District 79 was the one that initiated that visit with Kleisner in their building. So that has since started this conversation of consolidation.
could you also reach out to the other 2 districts that feed into Ridgewood and the other elementary?
We would. We're taking baby steps.
Great.
We're taking baby steps.
Great. So
I would just like to go on record saying this did not come from 79, 80, 86, or anybody.
Came from Gus Rapadas.
This came from a larger group of people from Norwich and Harwood Heights throughout all the districts. So there's more than just us here. There's a lot of people working on it. That's how we've secured the monies. And I think it's ignorant not to take advantage of it. You guys are here for the kids, for the community. To not take a handout, to listen to something that might be beneficial is irresponsible and ignorant.
Oh, and for the record, this board is
always been
willing to listen, and that's why I encourage you to take those baby steps and talk to the other districts, because the more people involved, the better it would be. It's just a shame that they decided to make that meeting, and now which puts this meeting, our meeting, at jeopardy, because we'll talk about it in new business, that we might postpone our meeting to see what the legalities of that is, to do that so we could attend, because there is a lot of good information there. So, great. Thank you. We'll go right into board committees, board policy and development. Dr. Melly, where do we stand with the new procedures?
So the procedures, I'm working with Mr. Brian Zump, and we have the contract, and it's going to take a little time because the procedures require staff to be intimately involved. For example, when we do documents that are required under residency, the support staff has to be involved. So it's going to take a little time, but we're in the initial phase where Mr. Zump is going to find some days where he can come out and he can work with the district.
And then my other part with the procedures is we're doing that. How can we intertwine the special ed procedures that we just heard that we need to also? Is that something that he does also, or how do we intertwine those both to help keep those costs down to a minimal if we're going to do special ed procedures and administrative procedures? Is there a way to put that together?
Well, according to our comprehensive plan that we give to the state, we were required to do our special education procedures, and we already have them completed.
You already have them? Okay.
We already have them completed. So answering your questions, we can easily intertwine them. I would work with Mrs. Hanson and we would basically put them in so that they would be very clear. But we've already not only have we put them in the comprehensive plan, we've already adopted them.
Great, okay, thank you. Buildings and grounds?
We've been pretty busy. We've had, like I said, you heard earlier, we had STR in here. We've been working with the Norwich School Foundation to make some improvements to our entries in both buildings. I can tell you just in just a couple of days that I've been in the building and Pat are being around, we've kind of chatted, and the school buildings are ready to go. The rooms are ready. Teachers are in this week, moving in. Just some minor things that need to be done before we open our doors on August 27th. Just some final details, but for the most part, both buildings are ready to go. Everything's full press forward. Mike?
And again, the cleaning crew has been doing an outstanding
Awesome
job.
job.
The floors are not yellow. We now have clean floors, if you noticed that, which is a big step compared to what we had. So we're getting our money's worth for what we're paying for on that. The company, like I said, the people are doing a very good job. And they've been dependable in here, so let's make sure that it stays that way.
Great. Any other questions for the buildings and grounds? Thank you. Communications.
Well, we've been extremely busy with buildings and grounds issues that we really have not had a chance to schedule anything for communications, but it is a priority of Jen and I to get a meeting scheduled here shortly and just start getting ready to hopefully communicate some good stuff to the community about what's going on in the school buildings with our special ed plan and all our other stuff. So the intent is, to get a meeting in the near future.
Great, thank you. Finance?
Nothing new to report in finance.
Thank you. Negotiations?
Negotiations. I'd like to ask Dr. O'Malley if there's been any movement in our request for dates to speak with the Teachers Association.
So we have 3 dates set. I'm going to send that to the members of the negotiation as well as the Board of Education. So Dr. Schilling can make those dates, as well as I believe it's the UNISERV representative on behalf of the association. So I'll send that to the board, and we can go from there.
Thank you. Any old business?
Well, we do have Saturday, September 22nd, the forget it, meeting with the public officials for breakfast meeting over at Leiden High School for the board members. It's at 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m., so we'll be able to ask questions. Or if you have some questions and you'd like me to ask, because I'll be attending the breakfast. And then Monday, October 29th is the fall dinner. The spring dinner is Wednesday, March 7th. And don't forget, early registration now is going on now for the Triple I conference. And if anybody has not attended that, I suggest that you do attend it. It's very good. It's a very good experience. You get to meet a lot of people and interact with them. So find out some information that you need to do, and also keep up your classes.
You can always contact Sarah if you have any questions or concerns with the courses you're expected to take as board members.
Yeah. That's all.
Thank you.
You took me off the list, but
New business? I would like to have make a request to Dr. O'Malley. Going forward, when the board packet comes out on Thursday, by that Friday, to get all presentations on the board packet by that Friday. So, for example, like today's presentations, to have them in advance so we could actually look at them. At least we had the weekend versus doing that. So going forward, I would like to see all presentations by Friday on the board pack, and if we can't get it there, then push back that presentation to the next month.
Okay.
So,
Absolutely.
board comments.
Board comments? Yes. Keep going.